Good morning, good morning, good morning, and welcome to the umpteenth plus another one episode of Island Tea with your faves, Kevin and Amari, joining you bright and early. It is a good morning. Yes. Of course, as usual, we're going to start off with our topics for tea time, which Amali won't sing. So I'll sing.
Tea time.
Hee hee. There we go. We're gonna first talk about a recap of the official PACE meeting, the first official PACE meeting that took place last night. We're also gonna talk about the new chair of Carnival being announced. Dun dun dun. Then we're also gonna talk about the Haitians that were apprehended the other day. How it might be a case of human trafficking. We're also going to talk about what Prime Minister Harris has said in terms of the hotels being likely to reopen in the last quarter of this year. Agreed. We're also going to talk about how nearly $5 million has been spent to boost agriculture and fishing sectors since the beginning of, since COVID-19 hit. We're also going to talk about Tisha Campbell. I don't know if y'all know. Y'all should know who Tisha is, man. Tisha's Gina. So, Tisha was also on My Wife and Kids, and Tisha Campbell. She's confirming. Well, is she confirming the story that August Alsina has been? What to call it? Announcing that him and Jada Pinkett Smith were involved. We're also going to talk about Sir Everton Weekes, who was the last of the 3 W's, and he has passed. But before we jump in those topics, as usual, we always take a quick break to give you all a chance to hot up all your water to join us for tea time. We'll be right back.
WINN is 98.9. 98.9 is Win FM.
Maybe it's the way the brilliant gold liquid reflects our sunshine, or how the bright blue of its label mirrors the clear Caribbean skies overhead. Maybe it's the fresh, crisp taste of this beastly cold beer on a scorching hot day. Maybe it's even the way it brings us all together. But one thing is for sure, Carob is very much a part of who we are wherever we're from in the Caribbean. Carob, it's the way we play. Drink responsibly.
I just use my address, 2164.
Oh man, mine is my car number, 7328.
So, my pick 4 is my wife's weight.
Pick your 4 and come play Pick 4 from the Caribbean Lottery. It's so easy to play. Pick 4 numbers from 0 to 9 with 4 ways to bet and 4 daily draws. There are so many chances to win up to $40,000.
You doggos got 4 numbers too?
What are you talking about?
Cause your wife's standing up right behind you.
Sorry.
Pick your 4 and come play Pick 4 from the Caribbean Lottery.
Life for I and I. So when I'm down, I play a good song. You and your negative vibes around me now working. I hope this feeling does last for a little while. Coming off a nice time for so long. Catch a vibe, just watch out for bad my name lurking. Ready for broke your vibes again. Full of meds, love your life, it's a gift, yeah. Get the meds, grind it up, full of spliff, yeah. Do something now, we make you enjoy life. Fly away, take a trip, yeah. On the beach, see the water stress, no worries, throw that all away. We all have ups and downs on a day to day. So when I rise, tell myself do some good today. A lot of people out there don't just lost a seed. Them not do what makes them happy, no say that's the key. Them not care about you, them not care about me. But me know say life's so sweet. I'm living it up, so don't bring me down. I roll some good trees up and pass the weed around. I don't wanna end up in a lost and found. Keep my feet on the ground, and you know say I'm living it up, so don't bring me down. I roll some good trees up and pass the weed around. Don't wanna end up in a lost and found. Keep my feet on the ground, and you know say I'm steady holding firm. But you want another tip, so what you did is don't even know you no more. You're too bad, man. You sell your soul just to get in the world. You don't say it's all a trick, so what you did is don't even know you no more. You're too bad, man. You know. No. Yeah, you know. Yeah. I'm steady holding firm, but you want another tip, so what you did is don't even know you no more. You're too bad, man. You sell your soul just to get in the world. You don't say it's all a trick, so what you did is don't even know you no more. You're too bad, man.
Welcome back. Oh, the music ain't faded. Welcome back to the umpteenth plus one episode of Island Tea with your faves, Kevon and Damali. And we have been bombarded once again by the Honorable Jay Johnson. Who,
So,
excuse me.
let me explain. I threw in my patty, hold on. So, we invited Jade over on the side of the glass to join us for an interview yesterday. But she took taste, and now she wants to come back over here again,
Yes.
uninvited.
Yes.
And she drained a witty pot to join the conversation.
I feel like it would be unfair for y'all to offer all the guests tea, but not offer me tea.
You all get tea. We both pour you and Azim a cup of tea, and we take it over there. Don't come in here to tell lies. We will
And
not
the
tolerate
impression,
it.
and drag with name.
Okay.
Oh, boy.
Azim has his teacup in front of him,
And I have
full
mine.
of tea, and you have yours.
Yes.
Do not come over here, go tell lies.
As in, is it blue as well? That's what you say?
My tea is once again blue. I have blue green tea.
Excellent.
Blue green tea, scanting,
Excellent.
grooving.
We are keeping the momentum.
So, with Jade interrupting us for tea time, we'll jump right into it.
Yay.
So let's talk about the
You know, I'm supposed to eat
recap.
this thing before I eat this still.
Let's talk about, first we're going to start off with the first PACE meeting that happened yesterday, which Azim will take the floor for.
As
Azim,
chair of the meeting. I
the
can chime in
meeting.
every now and then. I just made a presentation.
I didn't get to go because I dropped sleep.
I was there and it was very good. So, Azim, I feel like you got this.
What? No, I mean, last night was amazing.
As him jump right into it.
Yeah, we're going to jump right
He always
into
play
it.
modest.
No, I don't want to. Last night was amazing.
Yeah, but last night we had the first meeting, our first official meeting.
The first unofficial meeting.
Well, it was official-ish. The first official-ish meeting of PACE, which stands for the Professional Association for Creativity and Entertainment. This meeting was just about informing potential members about what the actual group is, what the vision is, how it was formed, how the idea came up, and talk about steps forward to make this thing a reality. One of the things that was so heartwarming for me was just the number of people that showed up to support.
What do you think that number was? I guesstimate.
Maybe close to 175 to 100 people. Maybe it was a lot of people.
Yeah, a lot of creatives.
A lot of creatives from all spheres. I saw not only musicians and singers and artists. I saw dancers. I saw graphic designers. I saw comedians. I saw people involved in the visual arts and the theater arts. And a lot of service providers as well, lighting techs, audio engineers,
and
logistics.
And across all generations too.
Yeah, definitely.
People have been there for 40 years down to people who just started last year.
Yeah, I mean, there was a few guys there who I know still in high school, like whose parents may have put them in contact with me, so I know they're young. But they're hungry and they're interested in this thing, and they were there. So
many artists as well with you.
Yeah, definitely. Like we could have kept a local fest over there. The amount of artists over there.
Yeah, St. Kitts is full of talent, and it's a beautiful thing to see. To see all of them come out and support. We even saw the new Carnival cheer come out and support.
Shout out to you, smart, you know. Last night, Shannon come in the thing, and I make a joke with her and say, "Good evening, Madam Chair," and she just say, "Ha." I said I had here some kind of a weightish by.
She couldn't give everything away. You had
yes,
to leave
yes.
it
You have to wait for it to be announced officially.
Yes.
Because they could take it back before they announce it.
But I mean, we had presentations from Amadi Amini. I mean, he was alright.
Oh, he was.
He was alright.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Desi Brown and E.K. Flanders, they made presentations.
Maurice.
For those of us. For those of us that don't really know what PACE is, remind us.
Alright, so PACE, in its simplest form, is intended to be a voice for creatives in St. Kitts and Nevis. It's intended to represent the interest of creatives and persons involved in the entertainment industry. It's well known among creative circles that there are a lot of things that need to happen in order to improve the state of the industry, and we figured that there needed to be a unified voice, a place where creatives could come, discuss what their grievances are, the issues are, their needs are, and then have that be taken to the requisite persons to ensure that some of this stuff is implemented and happens. So PACE is hoping to fill that gap, to play that role, and based on the feedback that we received last night, I think we're very much on the way to doing just that. And I mean, we had persons there from Nevis who came over and showed a lot of support. I don't know where they sleep because the borders are closed and the hotels are closed.
I asked one of them how she came back Nevis. She said, "Mind your business."
You see there?
I said, "Okay." So.
Yeah.
But and see what if you're offering a ride to a chartered boat
on my yacht? No, not last night. It's on dry land.
But yeah, I mean, we had so many comments and useful suggestions in the question and answer section afterwards. Persons showed their interest, showed support, and even the small socialization that happened afterwards. Let's stop and just really big up the St. Christopher and Nevis Police Force for their support. We had officers there who was like, "Look here, we just support PACE, so this thing had to happen." Right, so
Police for PACE.
Yeah, but oh my
word!
Oh my God, Jay!
Just get that on a T-shirt.
Wonderful.
Police for PACE.
I can wear it.
So
I don't wait a minute. I against us.
But yeah, they really came out and supported and allowed us to have this meeting that. But you know what? The meeting was essential.
It was.
It was an essential meeting, right? And so they allowed us to have it and asked us to abide by, you know, the social distancing protocol and all of that. But we had support from so many different entities. We had Alex St. Just and Pro Video provided streaming options through Zoom for those people who wanted to be at it but wasn't able to. As a matter of fact, we had persons signing up from all over the world, from Canada, Toronto, New York, Miami, Atlanta, all persons who want to see this thing happen and want to show their support. So we had ASAP Productions, who has been helping us with branding and then graphics. We had Poise, who supplied their help as well. TNO Sounds. J Black Productions, who was there covering the event, taking pictures and stuff like that. So there are a lot of persons who are lending.
And of course, the management and staff at Jamrock Restaurant.
Yes.
For allowing us to invade this space.
Yes.
It was a little invasion for sure.
Look here, Mike was one of the most vocal supporters of this thing. I don't know if it's maybe it's culinary arts. Maybe we need to look at involving culinary arts in this thing. But like he jumped on board and without hesitation, just fully opened the doors of the Jamrock Restaurant. So we are eternally grateful to Mike and Angie and the rest of the staff there at Jamrock.
I must say I'm very, very proud of my host and my producer, my co-producer, for what they have been able to achieve with Pace. It's refreshing seeing young people doing this type of stuff. Like, I can't even describe the feeling of being a creative and finally having something that's for us and people that care about us enough to make sure that with anything that we do, it's done fairly. And I'm just so happy.
Not just for us, but by us.
For us, by us. Police
and
for
there
Pace.
And there were some people there that are worthy of mentioning as well. I mean, when it was just beginning, Carla Astafan, who is a creative from a long time, she was driving past and she said, "Mally, what's going on over here?" I told her what it was. She said, "I'm coming right back." And she had some people with her and she dropped them home.
She come back.
They were letting me there. She said, "What? No, this is more important. Drop them home." Come back and made a very valuable contribution, as well as the peer Sharon Rattan was there as well as the former peers for culture, and she heard about it and she made in very insightful contributions as well, and she supported 100%.
We have a question from Kit Kat.
Oh, ask him a question from Kit Kat.
I said the name and he started to blush. Hold on, Kit Kat. I think he gonna put on his camera for you to get a visual. But the question is, Kit Kat asks, is it available to sign up while living abroad?
Yeah, you could definitely sign up. There's a form that's circulating if you go to the Pace page. Search for Pace SKN. You'd see there's a form there that you could fill out, right? That allows you to keep updated as to what's happening with Pace. You'll get the email blast and stuff like that, so you know at least what's happening. And then what happens is, I know we're planning to have the first election very, very soon, and so I really hope that what's gonna happen with the new executive is that they put things in place to allow foreign nationals to sign up. The reason for that is I think St. Kitts has a lot of resources that are not resident on the island, right? And this goes across the board for every industry. I really think that the government really needs to start putting in place ways to involve the diaspora and draw on those resources. So Pace perhaps could be one of the pioneering groups in that sense.
I agree. Well, Master of Ceremonies, what's next?
We'll jump into what we briefly touched on earlier. We have a new chair of Carnival. That's the drum roll?
Yeah.
Stop it. Our new chair of Carnival is... Jada, don't like your sound effects.
Darn, I'm trying.
It is Miss...
It's your first day on the show. Relax now.
Stop it. We bring you as an intern yesterday and you failed. Stop it.
I am not coming back over here.
The new chair of Carnival is Miss Shannon Harley. We had Shannon as a guest a few weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
Shannon, you tell us lie.
Well, I don't even think it's a lie. I feel like at the time she really didn't want the position but because of some of the changes that have
Based
been
on what it was, yeah.
implemented, I feel like she realized that now it's a better situation,
Right.
and I'm so excited to see what she's going to do because we're fetting.
Shannon is a stateswoman, you understand? And she is committed
As
to
in talking about
national
attitude, voice. Go ahead, Sylvia, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
we
Go on.
develop to help develop the nation, you understand? That's what I believe.
I agree, and we're so excited.
I see her as that type of person, stateswoman, and like these positions are important, like really important. Like Carnival is one of the things that we use to sell the nation, to put us on the map, and to create buzz around the Caribbean, around the world. So I really am happy to see someone like Shannon in that
In
position.
the words of Her Excellency Sir Fair Lyons of Trinity and Tobago, Carnival is woman, Carnival is girls, girls, girls.
I was about to do another sound effect, but now I'm
Yeah,
afraid
don't
I've
do
been
it.
bullied.
Cease
Don't
and
do it.
desist.
But yes, of course, the Minister of Culture and Carnival is Chanel Powell, and he revealed that Shannon is now the chair from starting effectively July, so this month.
Effective
one?
July?
So no?
Yeah.
Effective July 2020.
Wow.
Effective when? What date?
It just says July. So,
On the whole of July?
well, we on the what, second?
Yeah.
So she's already the chair?
So she's
Yeah,
done in the
man.
chair. The chair done in the chair.
That.
So the director is a woman, the chair is a woman.
Carnival is woman.
Many of the chairs of the current subcommittees are women as well.
Wow.
But this is Shannon's, if you weren't tuned in to the last interview we did with Shannon, this is Shannon's second go at chair. She was the chair for the 40th Sugar Mass in 2011, but she said that she left the position after 6 months.
Something like that.
Around 6 months in, she left the position because it was
Yeah.
overwhelming.
She didn't have the help that she needed to have.
Yes,
But
so
now it looks like she does.
hopefully she has a team that allows her to do the thing.
I think it's very important to note as well that Shannon has not technically replaced the current chair. I believe that the roles have somewhat changed in their nature. From what I understand, the executive director, who is Hazel, what is her last name again?
Hazel Webster.
Hazel Webster, the Honorable Hazel Webster. She will be taking on more of the roles and responsive.
You see what we're talking about?
You see this?
Jaden here putting on
The
video.
ED will be taking on more of the roles and responsibilities that the chair usually has, which is what Noah currently, well, up until yesterday had. And the chair would be the chair of the board. I believe a board is to be implemented.
Yeah, that's my understanding too. So
Yes.
apparently the board's role is to
overlook,
to actually come up with policy.
Right.
And the executive director is to go ahead and
Execute.
execute and
within
operationalize.
within the parameters of those policies.
Right.
So technically speaking, to like simplify it, is the simplification isn't as accurate as it should be, maybe 80% accurate. But to simplify it for those who are listening, the ED Hazel Webster is who actually replaced Noah in the capacity of what Noah usually does.
Noah was working for two people. Maybe that's what was going on too.
No, just doing everything.
No, just everything. No pouch here, everything.
But
host, introduce yourself.
Exactly.
Sing. No, was everything.
Workshops, everything. That's the real 10 man one. So
the deputy chair though has remained the same. It will
Which is so?
continue to be Marissa Hobson.
Wow, girls all around. I love
So
it.
the
Carnival is sexy again.
Deputy chair is Marissa Hobson Newman. So she's had the position for almost 5 years. So she's coming back to.
So yes, so
Big up Marissa.
Big up Marissa one time. So folks, just to reiterate, don't bother go and say Shannon kick out Noah and Shannon replace it. Shannon didn't replace Noah Mills. Carnival has been restructured, and now there's an executive director, and of course her staff, whoever her staff will be, and then there's the chair of a board of directors. Shannon is chair of the board of directors, who's responsible for the overarching policies and framework for the ED to operate under. So the ED is actually going to execute Carnival with her staff and put things in place and plan the events that is no longer the responsibility of the board or the board chair. So just to make that very, very clear. Because now I'm going to hear Shannon is in the chair and start to spread misinformation.
Propaganda.
So Carnival is in the process of being restructured. I don't think there's a board yet.
More announcements will be made.
More announcements are to come. So there's the ED and her staff will be announced. And then there's the chair of the board and the rest of her board will be announced subsequently.
Yes, Minister Powell stated that in upcoming days there will be more announcements.
Exactly. So please listen to what is being said and formulate your own ideas.
Listen first. Read or listen to it again and then talk about it. Don't just go.
But wonderful news. Once again, congratulations to Shannon and to Marissa and to Miss Webster. Girls all around. I love it.
Because like our song is saying, girls on the world.
As in, really play the song? Why you play the one from Fan?
Woman is Carnival.
That's a lot more fitting.
Can't I sing it wrong? Woman, Carnival is woman.
Oh, boy.
We waiting for it?
We waiting for it. We're moving on to be played.
We're moving on to be played.
I want to hear Fan say Carnival is woman.
Because 3 women are in charge.
More than that?
That we know of.
Some committees got woman too.
Yeah, but no.
Volume.
Come. Turn off the lights.
You know what? We're gonna use this as a short break and let's let this song on.
Yeah, let the song on. We're gonna use.
We're gonna be right back. Listen to this song.
I'm going for my Campari cup.
Boys like girls, that's good. Boys like girls in plenty. Behaving bad, that's good. Sexy girls get anything. Boys give their heart and soul. Carnival is plenty girls from all around the world. When the girls look good, yeah, the boys they come around, yeah, they come around. When the girls look good, yeah, the boys they come around, yeah, they come around. Carnival is woman. Carnival is girls. Carnival is woman. Carnival is girls. These girls look fine. Boys, they blow their mind. Want them all the time. Wanna take a wine. Girls, show them sexy girls. All around the world, sure to rock your world. Hey, when the girls look good, yeah, the boys they come around, yeah, they come around. When the girls look good, yeah, the boys they come around, yeah, they come around. Carnival is woman. Carnival is girls. Carnival is woman. Carnival is girls. Boys like girls in sexy short things. Boys like girls in lacy string things. Boys like girls. Hey, you know my girl winding the waist and roll. Fun bad girl out of control.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
Make your house a dream home with a Horseman's Renault Loan. Yes, come to Horseman's today and ask about our home renovation loans of up to $35,000 unsecured. Yes, home renovation loans for as much as $35,000 unsecured over 4 years plus no money down. Yes, you pay zero money down on your loan, up to $35,000 home Renault loan at Horseman. So come, let's make your house a dream home with a zero down payment Horseman's Renault loan today. See store for details. Terms and conditions apply.
All right. And welcome back. We want to thank Fan Lions for that rendition.
Yeah,
we appreciate you, babe.
It was riveting.
Riveting. Thrilling.
Thrilling.
And now we'll move on to our next, subject of discussion.
Next, we will talk about the.
Let me finish talking now.
Come on, Mali steady fighting in the studio.
No, but my brain is shut off sometimes. So I was trying to make sure that I didn't reboot while he was waiting for me to talk.
You
So
should
just
update.
That happened with you though.
Y'all need to update y'all systems off camera.
Kevin, just stop talking mid-sentence.
Because my CPU ain't working so good.
We're on Windows 98?
98.
Wow.
Yeah, it's just Windows. But we're going to talk about
That's Mickey?
Haitians and the suspected case of human trafficking. So the other day we discussed the topic of the St. Kitts police force finding 10, it was 10 or 13?
I think it was 13.
13 illegal immigrants hiding out in the Keys area. However, they're still investigating the case, but they have now connected it to a similar situation in the BVI.
Oh, police conducted investigations and came to conclusions and so. I'm very proud.
A joyous day.
I'm very proud.
They did a good job. They solved this one kind of quickly.
Right. But they've connected it to a similar situation in the BVI. So it is now a question that is this human trafficking happening? The immigrants.
Is it happening? That's what you asked?
It is.
Bigly. Anyway, we can get into that.
Yeah, we can get into it.
I have stories.
You've been human trafficked?
No, not personal stories.
Oh.
I have anecdotes.
But the immigrants entered the country by sea. And I mean, of course, because the borders are closed. So, I mean, you never know. They could have hid in a box.
That would have been
on
huge.
a
Oh, they find them though, somebody rat, may I understand?
Maybe.
The borders big, yeah.
Snitches.
Somebody snitched. Somebody must have seen it. Or
because in Norway, and of course, gas ships be patrolling the entire coast 24 hours a day. But you know that the man pick up things on the way there too, eh?
That's true.
Yeah.
They pick up things and head out. I was talking to a fella about that the other day as well. The man said that the man would lock on the GPS and it's always on. And any vessels in coming into our borders, they're always alerted. Once they ain't wearing a very high tech CIA cloaking device, they will see them. So
I feel like remember when they were saying that there were 2 boats and the Coast Guard I think chased one away. Do you guys, is this conspiracy theory?
The story that we were told was false.
So it wasn't.
It wasn't that story. It's a different story.
So these 2 don't tie in.
I don't believe. Well, the police said that the first one was
Right.
false.
Oh.
That first story with the 2 boats and one escaping we were told it was false.
Yeah, but with this situation, the Haitians were actually on island already, which means Coast Guard either ain't get to catch them when they saw them on the radar, or somebody ratted.
Somebody 6'9".
Let me go say ratsy because somebody reported the incident.
Reported or informed.
Informed the authorities.
I feel like ratting is when somebody who is involved in the crime tell on the rest people involved in the crime.
Well, here's the squabble. So apparently the source is saying, a police source is saying that the group of immigrants resided in Dominica and they were heading to St. Martin. However, they were dumped off in St. Kitts for whatever reason. I don't know if it was a quick change of plans or whatever, but
the Haitians were from Dominica?
Were residing in Dominica.
Oh, okay.
They were originally, prior to being discovered in St. Kitts, they were residing in Dominica, and then they were supposedly heading to St. Martin, but dumped off in St. Kitts.
This is like an episode of Law and Order SVU.
Is it? I mean, so people really don't know that this thing will be going on?
No, we know, but I feel like
not
because
just that. Not just I'm
because
sorry.
there's so many things that's been happening. Like how if it ain't fresh and hot, people don't pay attention to it. Human trafficking been happening for so long. It's like normal.
Thousands of years.
It shouldn't be normal, but
actually, it is alleged. It is alleged
that you came here on a boat.
I came here on a plane. Yeah, Canada to be exact. But it is alleged that there's actually more trafficking going on today than when slavery was actually happening. You know?
Really?
Yes, bigly.
Yeah, because it's easier now.
People are choosing to be
Slavery was
trafficked
just
in a lot of
slavery back
cases.
then was a ship, and the ship took forever to get to its
That's true,
destination.
that's true.
Now you hop on a plane and you're in a brand new location in a few hours.
And I actually spoke to a former cabinet minister a few weeks ago under a different administration, and he gave me a story of bribes that were offered to facilitate this to him.
Wow.
He said literally the customs authority from a particular nation, as well as a local business person in St. Kitts, came to him and said, listen, we have some people from a particular place. We want you to acquire visas for them. There's about 20 of them. Visitor visas, because they need a visa to come to St. Kitts from whatever country they was from. Arrange these visas, blah, 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 blah. So he asked him, so what they come in St. Kitts for? He said, well, they'll only be here for a few days, 3 or 4 days, maybe a week. And while they're here, you know, they'll spend in the economy, we'll put them in hotels, blah, 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 blah. The economy can benefit.
They just let them come legally.
Wait, no. So he said, well then, if there's no foul play, then why do I have to facilitate it? And he said, because we want to use St. Kitts as a hub to get them in the US of A. And we will give you, I think he told me $40,000, $80,000 for the transaction. And he told me, he said, Amali, I'm a straight shooter. My response to them was, how long did it take you to drive from Irelby Airport to my office? And they said, about 6 or 7 minutes. Then he said, well, you have 6 or 7 minutes to get back to the airport before I have you arrested.
I like him. Whoever that man is.
But human trafficking is a big thing. People do trafficking in the St. Kitts all the time.
Right.
Big business.
That's
all
crazy.
the time.
That's crazy.
It's a massive money maker.
All the time. And there's different kinds of human trafficking. There's the ones that we're experiencing now. People actually trying to enter other borders illegally. And then there are people being trafficked for labor and for sex as well. Mm-hmm. And it is millions every year. I attended a Crime Stoppers conference in Trinidad about 3 years ago. And the Attorney General for Trinidad and Tobago was making a presentation, and it was people from all across the region, from both the Leeward and the Windwards. And the guy said that about 10,000 people are rescued annually, globally, from human trafficking rings, and that accounts for 0.8% of the total amount of people being trafficked. So imagine 10,000 people account for 0.8% of the total number of people that are being trafficked. Astronomical figures. And in the Caribbean itself, there are actually hundreds of thousands of people being trafficked to and from the West Indies today that people don't know about. And it's a huge issue. And there are actually many organizations, that NGOs and so, that are actually fighting to bring it to an end and fighting to free these, especially the young ladies who are trafficked for sex, that can, against their will, to actually put an end to it. But as it stands, with all the efforts of the UN and the World Bank and all these people and so, they're still only able to catch about 0.8% of the people who are trafficked.
That is so
on
sad.
an annual basis.
That is too sad. That's wow.
So if 10,000 people is 1%, how much 100% be it? 10,000 is 100 as well.
Yeah, but I think what we need to do is look at the areas that these people are coming from and the state of affairs in those countries. What's happening? Some places is war, some places is just extreme poverty. You know, so I think that we really need to be mindful that, like, look, there are some systemic issues that we have to really address in some of these countries. It's really ridiculous. In order for you to take the risk and to enjoy the treatment voluntarily, right, that some of these people have to go through to move from one place to the next. Mm-hmm. You have to be like, well, what kind of situation they were in before?
You know, right? Especially like countries that people like to call third world countries, where some of these people are being sold by parents and just being scooped up off the street because they're in positions where they can't afford certain things, and it's a
and
crazy.
it's also the situation of being lied to. A lot of them get conned into human trafficking because they're being told, oh, we could get you from Dominica to the US, jump on the boat, pay this amount, and they're like, okay, cool, let's do it. But then they get dumped off in St. Kitts.
And they're also being promised, oh, we could carry you to places for a better life.
And they take them elsewhere.
Yeah, it's
not,
sad.
Not just that. There are actually instances, and I can speak of instances in St. Kitts as well and Nevis, but obviously I won't. We are alleged, where employers actually facilitate the importation of people. I don't think it would be called trafficking, but they come here legally. But obviously people ain't got no money. So the employer would say, listen, I will pay for your passage, I'll put you up. You can live in one of my apartments or I'll find an apartment for you. Right? And you'll work off what you owe me. So it would typically cost around $10,000 for somebody to facilitate that. Right? And then they come to St. Kitts and they work for free until they pay off the 10 grand while the person holds their passport.
Indentured servitude.
Which is illegal. Right?
It's indentured servitude.
And then sometimes they don't even get it back. Right? They threaten them and say, listen, you're here illegally here, so if you have more money, I could just report you and get you deported. And these people live in fear of being deported for several years. And it's actually quite distasteful.
Yeah, it is.
All in the name of paying them or not paying them any money for a period of time to save money on your bottom line. It's distasteful, it's disgusting.
We agree.
Outrageous.
Outrageous. And they say in the hearsay, I know this is going on, but obviously I can't divulge,
allegedly,
certain things.
Master of ceremony.
Next, we have, we're going to talk about the message from Prime Minister Harris. He said that hotels in St. Kitts and Nevis are likely to reopen in the last quarter of this year. Last quarter of this year being October, November, December. Geed. That's a long time from now, you know what I mean?
Because we're in July.
Right.
Wait,
Geed.
What's the quarter is again?
The last quarter. October, November, December. So we 3 months away from, because we just entered our third quarter.
Somebody tell me that the hotels are open in July. Hear me? For who?
Right.
Well, I feel like, no, you know what?
For the locals to go.
There's some local rates, some local
local
specials happening, staycations. I know Royal St. Kitts put an advertisement.
Yeah, but Royal St. Kitts is half residences.
Yeah.
They're getting the money regardless of the
Exactly.
thing. Locals can't keep open the Marriott.
Oh, no way.
That's my argument. Like,
even
if they say, as in, right, the rates are 20 years per night. We're going to take advantage of about 3 weeks, and after they're going to be like, anyway, let's go back
3
home,
weeks?
Yeah,
that's a lot. We
go
got video for like
and they're back at square
2
one.
weeks.
A weekend.
If so much, and we said we fed up and we go back home.
You sure? A weekend. That's the most we could do.
That is outrageous.
I might give up my lease for 20.
Huh? Is that?
I might give up my lease for 20. Let's go live in the Marriott.
Yeah, for 3 months.
Save somebody and then go back home.
Wow.
But Kittitians really love the home and the bed and stuff, so I don't feel like they could do it for a long time.
Yeah,
It's
you
a
live out a
ticklish
hotel
situation,
room sometimes, and it's no fun. It's no fun. You want to go home.
Yeah, can facilitate that because there are people that live there permanently, and they gain the money. Obviously, significantly less than what was there before, but they gain something to keep the lights on. Marriott getting nothing. OTI? Or when you say I'm with OTI?
The St. Kitts tourism market is basically the US, primarily the US. So if the US can't come in because borders are closed, then reopening the hotels makes absolutely no sense.
And then even when the borders open, you have to facilitate, you have to take into consideration the quarantine period as well.
And the social
nobody
distancing
even when the borders are open, nobody coming here to stay inside for 2 weeks.
That is true.
With the cost.
Number one, it's expensive. Number two, time off from work. Number three, if you're coming for a particular purpose like a meeting or something, you have to come 2 weeks in advance of the meeting.
Unless you come into...
And with a Zoom?
Unless you come in to lie down, then quarantine will benefit you because you're forced to lie down. But other than that, you sort of... You kill your vacation time with the quarantine.
Like I was talking to a young lady yesterday, and she was so optimistic. She was like, "Oh, we're gonna get better. We're gonna have a carnival." I said, "Miss, stop it. Just stop it. Stop being so happy-go-lucky. That ain't happening.
Wow, wait.
But then
but
keep in mind,
The situation is actually going to get worse economically.
Yeah. But keep in mind,
it's honesty.
Ain't start yet, yo. Ain't start yet.
Keep in mind, the PM also said that they will likely. That don't mean they will. So there's a possibility of the final quarter approaching, and they say, no.
I think what's happening is just that, one, there's so many unknowns and so much things that are really out of our control, right? Mm-hmm. But also, there must be serious negotiations happening between a lot of these industries and the governments. So I'm suspecting that the hotels are basically saying, look, if we don't open, we have to close down indefinitely.
We might withdraw.
Yeah, we're gonna lose. How could we just not do business for 6 months and then be like open back up whenever and be good? Like it's
start from scratch.
Yeah, I mean, not only that. I mean, I know there's negotiations happening between like the cruise companies about how could we facilitate, visitors coming to the shores. And those are difficult conversations to have, especially when you don't even have all the information. So,
cruise ships. That guy told me yesterday that a couple cruise lines gonna start back operation next month. I said, to go where?
I was reading an article.
To go where?
I was reading an article that says
Antigua.
the cruise ships they're thinking about resuming operations.
Let them go. Let them go.
Right. They were saying though that the cruise ships were discussing the possibility of resuming their routes, however, not allowing passengers to leave the ship. So they'll dock, chill. I guess you could go on your top deck and look at the island.
But I could just Google YouTube. Because why would you?
But I mean, it's a vacation. It's a vacation on the sea. I mean,
maybe that's what
you're on the ship. You're on the ship, so you're up and down, on the ship for 7 days, 5-7 days. You just can't leave the ship to go.
I mean, really think about it. Like, if you've ever been on a cruise, like cruise are one of the best bangs for your buck, eh? Yeah. Like it's literally cheaper to go on a cruise for 7 days than to stay in a hotel for 7 days. Mm-hmm. Like fly to a place, stay in a hotel for 7 days. So that's possible.
It's also cheaper to go on some cruises for a week than to fly to a place for them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm telling you. Real talk.
You could get cruises for like 6-7. That's $400 depending on which line or what time of year.
Your food is included.
And that costs less than a ticket to the country.
Yeah, your food is included. You're basically on a floating city. So
you're well taken
and you still get to go to 7 different places like
for the same price.
What?
But at the same time, I think, I mean, I read somewhere that one of the things that the cruise liners are proposing is like isolated visits, meaning, for instance, I laugh when I say this, but it seems as though some of them are proposing, for instance, if a cruise ship comes, persons are tested on the cruise ship so they know what the status is, all that stuff. They're allowed to come off, but they keep them isolated. So imagine you get on the bus, you go to Brimstone Hill, but only the cruise ship passengers could visit Brimstone Hill. I don't even know if that's feasible. But I know things like this are what's being explored.
Right.
Because everybody looking at it like, yo, I got to eat.
That's another thing.
Yeah, I got people to pay.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I got shareholders who are looking at me. Like, everybody trying to see how they could jumpstart their businesses. This COVID thing really... Anyway.
And the issue is a lot of these entities is that they're worried about the staff as well. Because yes, it sounds great to not have to pay them, but then they're also worried about the hiring process because you could only tell them hold on for so long before you have to officially let them go. And then you're going to have to spend, a month recruiting before you could resume operations? Dude, you can't just call everybody and say, hey, we're ready to go back. But then the person might be like, I don't work, I work somewhere else now. Then what?
Who's really, really advocating for things to open back up the governments too,
Mm-hmm.
Because it's falling back on them,
Yep.
So when Carnival said Carnival, the cruise line, said we're operating until next year, January. How much ever thousands of employees are Carnival going to turn to Trump and say, where's the hand out? With the check?
That's true.
So then people and our government as well, like I could only imagine the kind of pressure they're under because they scrap them for your money to pay people to continue the stimulus if it is to be continued.
Yeah, Because they can't do like other countries.
And the country is still closed, so it ain't like they could tell people, well, we open the borders them now, so go look at next week. It can happen.
Truth.
And June was the last payment, so people ain't even know what happening for this month. People don't even, and there are people who haven't even gotten paid yet. So it's like it's really, really difficult.
It is.
Apparently we have a caller. Caller, you're live. Good morning, neighbor.
Good morning, neighbor. Nice presentation last night. However, concerning the topic today, you guys do recognize for those persons who would have been laid off around about the 27th to the 30th of March. They now, according to law, literally terminated. They want to call back within the last 3 months.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this is where a lot of persons will probably be looking and calling for answers from the previous employer as to what their status is going to be, whether or not they need to reapply. A lot of persons don't like educating themselves on certain things. So, I mean, shows like this actually helps to give people guidance. Makes no sense to go to the company because the company may not have the answers that they're looking for since they're not sure as to when they're going to be open. So that's where the Labor Department has to play a greater role in discussing a lot of this information so that we don't have a lot of angry people going around. Information quells a lot of disgustingness. So, I mean, this is where they need to be more vocal and having a show and platform similar to Social Security, similar to traffic, and others that would give people proper information when it comes to their rights and what to expect when it comes to employment.
Indeed.
Listen off you and let you guys find.
All right, thank you so for that.
Your input. We may have to find somebody from the Labor Department and invite them on so they could talk to the people and let them know, well, this is what's going on. And because as he said, there's a lot of people that don't understand or not sure what's happening. And
people don't know what to do.
Yeah, and the only way for them to feel some
I
sort
know
of...
those people.
Same. And for them, for the only way for them to know what's happening is they need to have the information. And the same way, as he said, Traffic Talk gives people information and Social Security. I feel like the Labor Department needs to do the same because those are the people that would have the kind of information that the country needs when it comes to these types of topics. Because we can't talk about it. We don't work there. Or we could do
Timothy, the Minister of Labour?
I
believe so.
We'll get back to you on that information.
I believe so.
But yeah, I think it is important for somebody with the proper information to come and give it to us. Can we do a short break?
So now we'll take a short break and we'll be right back.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
This is an unprecedented announcement from Horseman's. Get up to $30,000 off and pay zero VAT on top of that. It's Horseman's Automotive Unprecedented Sales Event happening now. Yes, for the first time ever, you get up to $30,000 off and pay zero VAT on top of that. Yes, pay zero VAT and get up to $30,000 off on top of that. This has never been seen before. Unprecedented savings at the Unprecedented Auto Sales Event at Horseman's Automotive. Up to $30,000 off and pay zero VAT on top of that. Let me repeat, up to $30,000 off and pay zero VAT on top of that. Don't miss this, it's unprecedented. Terms and conditions apply.
Maybe it's the way the brilliant gold liquid reflects our sunshine, or how the bright blue of its label mirrors the clear Caribbean skies overhead. Maybe it's the fresh, crisp taste of this beastly cold beer on a scorching hot day. Maybe it's even the way it brings us all together. But one thing is for sure, Carob is very much a part of who we are wherever we're from in the Caribbean. Carob. It's the way we play. Drink responsibly.
Make your house a dream home with a Horseman's Renault Loan. Yes, come to Horseman's today and ask about our home renovation loans of up to $35,000 unsecured. Yes, home renovation loans for as much as $35,000 unsecured over 4 years plus no money down. Yes, you pay zero money down on your loan, up to $35,000 home Renault loan at Horseman. So come, let's make your house a dream home with a zero down payment Horseman's Renault loan today. See store for details. Terms and conditions apply.
So I must prepare for what I might have to do. I don't have a problem in the world, solution oriented, simple island girl, passionate, compassionate with patience as a science, endorsing love and unity, promoting self-reliance, balancing our emotions, tempering our temperament, maintaining our composure and learning when to vent. But as injustice grips the masses more and more, the pressure makes them not much, instead it makes me sure that there is tension building inside I. And I'm trusting I spirit to guide I, even if no one else overstands. I have got to do what it demands. I eyes and ears might deceive I, friends and family might leave I, but is a righteous tension a brew, so I must prepare for what I might have to do. Misleaders use semantics to manipulate us, meaningless promises to keep us in a state of catatonic apprehension, empty hands up to the sky, the art of misdirection used to disguise the lie, telling us decisions made are for our good by those whom we elect, when in actuality they merely reflect an ulterior agenda to profit in their terms. So the people only matter when the people help them earn. Whoa, so them corrupt system get burned. That's why there's tension building inside I, and I'm trusting I spirit to guide I, even if no one else overstands. I have got to do what it demands. My eyes and theirs might deceive I, friends and family might leave I, but it's a righteous tension a brew, so I must prepare for what I might have to do. But I'm never gonna give you up, no matter what. Imagine the morning you awake to find the soldiers on your street, tanks on every boulevard, police on every beat, choppers hovering but a stillness in the air. How will you be feeling? Relieved or filled with fear? Then the radio announces that the leader's going to speak. Adrenaline explodes as your attention peaks. He says, you may already notice the plans for your protection, put in place to neutralize potential insurrection. But have no fear, the force is here with tear gas, bombs and guns, so no undesirables will compromise the flow of funds. Tell me, where will you be standing? What will you plan to do when you realize the enemy is you? It's you. It's you. It's you. Which side of the law are you on? Are you with the masses or are you the protected one? Tell me, which side of the law holds your place? Do they defend you or can they stick that gun in your face? Tell me, where does your allegiance lie? Does the struggle entertain you or does it make you cry? Is it clear where your conscience will reside? One day you may have to decide. That's why there's tension building inside I, and I'm trusting I spirit to guide I, even if no one else overstands. solution a brew. So I must prepare for what I might have to do with this tension building inside. But I'm never gonna give you up, no matter what.
Well, welcome back to Island Tea with your faves, Kevin and Amali, plus Jade, because she liked to be in things
Yeah,
today.
man, yeah,
So
man.
we told her she could join.
Yay.
But Lord, Jade.
Sorry.
Okay. But we're gonna talk about some unfortunate news. So Everton Weeks, he has passed at the age of 95.
Who is that?
He was the last living member of the legendary 3Ws of the West Indies cricket team.
Who are those?
Those were Sir Clyde Walcott and Sir Frank Worrell.
Oh.
That's where the 3Ws came from, because all of their last names ended in
And
W.
W.
Mm-hmm.
The more you know.
The more you know.
And he was the last living member of them?
He was the last living member.
So now
Apparently,
there are no more W's.
No, the W's have departed. But apparently the W's were a thing. Like, you know, apparently the rumor was that they were all delivered by the same midwife.
I could see that happening.
There was like this long history of the 3Ws.
Wow. Long history indeed, because he lived to 95.
95.
Wow.
That's why I'm here to play sports.
It's true.
So
you stay healthy.
It
Healthy
keep your body good up.
So we need to go play some kind of sport?
Not
Not
boxing.
doing
Because boxing, like boxing and American football and stuff.
No, that there is
Maybe not.
City and but serious.
Those knock off a few years, but these are healthy sports. You're active.
Yeah, cricket is a fairly healthy sport. You know, you knock some ball.
And you run. You have to be physically fit for that.
Yeah, I agree.
And nothing is like giving you concussions in the process.
Thankfully. And then apparently he was a big member of the West Indies team. That's what I think. That's what I read.
West Indies board.
He contributed many things.
And he was on the board as well after?
I suspect.
I think they're making up stories.
Seriously.
Okay.
He also, what did I read just there? That he did test the 5 series. Sorry, people. Obviously, I don't know anything about sports.
I'm waiting for it to stop.
I'm on the other side of the sporting thing. I just make sure the entertainment runs perfectly. I don't know anything about cricket. So Kevin, carry on.
So Weeks was born into poverty, and he was, very poor. His family was also poor, but he's one of those stories of, work hard.
He overcame
his struggles. He
and manifested his strength.
He left school and he was barred from playing at the local club where he wanted to go, because at the time only white players were permitted to play there. And
I'm guessing he's not white.
No.
Guessed correctly.
He's black. But, but he was very involved. He, was a member of a lot of clubs. He did a lot of work. He volunteered. He did substitute fieldings. He did ground staff. He was ground staff at Kensington Oval and all these stuff. So he was massively involved in cricket for a massive portion of his life. And I mean, that's why he is now a legend.
A big legend in the cricket field.
Right. He was a living legend, and I'm only watching Jade bad because Jade just chiming in, and we're talking about
that. Jade said he's a big legend, and Jade voted for the first time this morning.
That's not true. I actually did not hear about him this morning. You heard about him this morning. Let's keep this a buck on the ear, okay?
Jade heard about it last night, please.
But
actually, Monday. Monday.
But Jay, you know what's worse? You have never heard of Survey Richards.
No,
and
it's
that
not,
is outrageous.
That is not what I said, people. I said I'm not familiar with him. I said I heard about him before, but I can't.
We thought he was a chef?
No, clearly not, because we're talking about cricket. I'm sorry for not knowing all of the people in the world, since y'all think I'm supposed to.
There's 2 people in the world. It's Jesus and be vigilant.
Amen.
To proceed, he was also very humble. He was not into the main Sardinia. He was very into remaining humble and not being sucked into this celebrity. And he left his phone number in the phone books. He used to just go to the beach, well into that's the sound of tea. He used to go swimming in the beach. But all members of
what he just said?
I don't know what to say.
Mate,
he used to go swimming in the beach?
At the beach. But
Kevin, remind me when I die, not to allow you to do my eulogy. Amali, he was a good guy. He used to eat sandwiches
in his mouth.
Anyway, but all of the members of the 3Ws were knighted. But he was the last to be knighted in 1995. So he did receive knighthood before his passing, hence the Sir at the beginning of his name. But our condolences to his family and friends.
Indeed.
She will be missed.
And the people of Barbados.
And the people of Barbados.
Yes. So, Master of Ceremonies, what's the last thing that we have to discuss?
The last thing we have to discuss is Gina, Tisha Campbell. So again, Tisha Campbell played Gina on Martin, and she was also the mother in My Wife and Kids. That's what it was.
What? No, I don't think it was My Wife and Kids.
But I'm doing.
She's confirming August Alsina's
allegedly
his story that he was intimately and
bedding Will Smith's wife
involved with Will Smith's wife, Jada Pinkett Smith.
Who asked her? But people fast.
Who asked her? Who asked him?
I mean, he pretty much just on an interview.
Right. Let's give some backstory.
And that is his story to tell.
Let's give some
that's
backstory.
Fine. But when somebody can check me and say, she lied when he's saying it's true. Like,
right. Here's some backstory. So August Alsina, he's a artist.
She's a woman.
He went on an interview recently and he started discussing his romantic life, and everybody knows August Alsina to be a very good family friend of the Smiths.
Family friend.
Now he has then said he was romantically involved with Jada Pinkett Smith, and
with Will's consent.
With Will Smith's
yes,
consent. So there's been a lot of conversation in the past few years of what the definition of Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith's relationship. I don't know, because y'all ain't.
Understand people.
When you go home, Jada and Will is not in your house. So I don't understand why it matters.
They ain't even in the same tax bracket as them.
Why do you care? I mean, we look at what car they drive, people.
Right. But everybody's been saying they've been in an open relationship, a polyamorous relationship. But if you don't know what it is, let's break it down. A polyamorous relationship is when you are not sexually involved with other parties in your marriage. So you create bonds with others outside of your marriage. So you fall in love with somebody else, but the nature of it is not sexual. Open relationship is when you are given permission to seek other sexual partners, other pleasures outside of your husband or wife in the marriage. There's a massive difference.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
Yeah, man.
But again, to each his own. I don't think that what somebody chooses to do in their marriage is somebody's business to judge, because at the end of the day, I can't fathom or process how it will affect you tomorrow.
It can't.
But apparently, Jada's they said that Jada's team denied these allegations.
So Jada's team jumped up and said these are not true. These are absolutely false. And
I mean,
the man just in love. You understand?
Look here, to be totally honest, right? Jada Pinkett is goals. You realize if you look at the history and the things that men have said about her, it's like every guy of some importance has been so in love.
It's true,
Yeah.
Hey, hold on. Yeah, listen to the interview. If you listen to the interview, right? Mm-hmm. One of the things he said was that he can now die happy, right? Having known that he's given himself completely to Jada.
Wow.
Now my thing is,
But the man ain't lie.
what's she working with? What's she working with for
What
a man
she
to
just
walk out?
said-
Okay, good, I know.
And I remember she had Tupac completely
Bazadi.
in love.
Bazadi.
So whatever she's been doing, boy, she needs to write a book.
And then how will they talk about her as well, like she's God.
But she I don't think it's giggle. This.
Jay did. Anyway, so
In your Makazima. You see what we're going to now?
As if it's fired.
so you see what we just have to navigate on the side of the
As if
glass.
it's currently fired.
But
You're fired, as you said, in a puppet in an ear.
let's break it down a little bit. So
We need a new producer.
So for a few years, Jada and Will have been making statements about the nature of their marriage, and it's been leading people to ask questions. They've said that they've transitioned from a marriage to a life partnership. What that means for them, we don't know, because we don't lie down in the bed at night and
They're
hear the
business.
conversations. However, they've made certain statements that brings people to believe that Kit Kat says she got the spiritual good. But
The
anyway,
spiritual good. I like it.
Kit Kat,
A woman
we
of
love you.
God.
Kit
But-
Kat, we love you dearly.
there was, Jada Pinkett Smith has a series where she Red Table Talk, where she sits down and chats with people about, issues and things,
Life experiences.
And on one of those, she briefly touched on the life partnership between her and Will, and she was saying to herself, if we are married, we are together forever. And she said, you could be on one side of the house with whoever, but bet you we're gonna be in a house together. And people have been taking that specific statement and now tying
said
it in.
that?
She said that.
That's so
Yeah, she
beautiful.
said that.
And she's saying they've now tied that statement into the August Alsina situation
Well,
and deeming it
she opened
an
her mouth.
open
That's what happened.
relationship. But again, not to sound bad, but who cares?
What's wrong with you?
To each his own. Their marriage has clearly been successful to whatever lengths it serves them. How about we take our time to find out how to satisfy our own relationships? Because I don't understand what sitting on and monitoring
Somebody
Jada and
relationship.
Will's relationship benefits yours.
Yo, Kevin got bars, yeah.
Baz, the man going to have bad today.
Because
and he's
people
ignoring all the
fast.
noise to you now. When we're talking shippiness, Kevin is like, anyway.
Because people's too
Back
fast.
to what I was saying.
Why are you okay? It's interesting to read. We could admit that. However, at the end of the day, how does it when you lock your phone and you turn to your girlfriend or your boyfriend? What does that story have to do with the two of y'all?
Boy, that's why when I see things on social media and see people respond. I had a friend once. She would literally lose her mind over the opinions of others. Not about her, just in general. Like if somebody said, "Boy, KFC the tape better than ready for it," she would take it personally and want to debate and give reasons why it ain't true. I'm just like, yo,
learn to let it go.
It's not that serious.
you can't just read something and say, and keep scrolling.
Exactly.
What's wrong with these people?
Social media has given people this voice and this.
And people don't check them.
No, literally, where people don't even read articles, they just read the headlines and run with it.
Yeah.
So wherever the headlines are, that's what they believe.
If it didn't fit in the Instagram
when I say
story
people
of
don't
the
check them, I mean people
picture,
don't call
they
them out
do
and the ignorant behavior. That's what I'm talking about.
But that too. It's
But
very...
when I read this story, for me it was okay.
Okay, cool.
This is what
When I
made
heard
their
it-
relationship work. Okay, cool.
Not just that, I said that sounds beautiful. That he found love. That's wonderful.
Again,
and,
to
and,
each his
and
own.
if we'll say it was okay, then what we abusing for?
Exactly.
Is he wifey be?
I do think though this does bring up a discussion about because the fact that Jada's team denied it, perhaps he was supposed to keep him out shut. No,
Perhaps.
Perhaps.
So I think that might be somewhat of a knock on his part if that was indeed the arrangement. Like,
Stop
yo,
kissing and
just keep your thing to
telling.
yourself.
Nevertheless, I don't
Yeah.
care.
Yeah, but that's the
Actually.
whole thing.
But
Nevertheless,
that's the whole thing.
I
I get, but I take this story as an opportunity to show people that there are different ways to do things. It might not work for you, but it worked for somebody else.
That's
You-
for sure.
And
do you see what happens when you drink
you
blue tea? It just brings out your
Non-traditional
intelligence.
love
I
is
didn't
love
drink any.
nonetheless.
You didn't?
No, he didn't.
Oh,
That's a lie. I smart on my own.
at that.
But but this is like, even if you were in relationships
offended
that
again,
didn't work for you, I'll take a sip. If you were in relationships that weren't working, this could just be an example of something that you might consider. use this as, okay, this exists. Maybe the next relationship I'll get into, I'll discuss the possibility of a polyamorous or open relationship with my partner. Y'all might sign up to it. Y'all might like it. It might work for y'all.
Yeah.
Take these as examples of the options, not as example of things you must do.
Yeah.
That's the issue with people.
I have friends who are involved in open relationships and they're very happy. And I had a conversation with a young lady.
That's off ear.
That was off ear. Wow.
Jade, when it's off ear, we don't say on the mic that it's off ear.
I leave it.
Obviously, it was off ear for a reason.
I'm leaving.
So I was speaking to a young lady of a while back, and she said, and she basically told me, husband and wife supposed to live together. And I'm just like,
who made this
says who?
law rules?
I actually have another friend in Canada, and she told me, she said, Marley, when I get married, I would actually love if I got my own house and my husband got his own house.
Some people have...
They could be next to each other on the same street. I just want, when I go home, I'll be by myself in my space. I'm going to love him, we're going to have children and everything, but I just want my own space.
Some people
and that's okay.
have now been moving into the concept of having separate bedrooms as
couples,
a married
it happens
couple.
all the time.
You have your bedroom, I have my bedroom. When we need to become intimate, we'll...
And you can come and spend the night if you want.
You spend the night,
yeah.
Cool, but I need my own space. And I think this is why we've seen a change in divorce rates. Because even though these marriages have slowed down a bit, the rate has not spiked as they have
why?
in the past.
Because less people get married.
Well, yeah, but on top of that, people are learning to discover the ways to navigate a marriage outside of the traditional means.
Yeah,
non-traditional love is love nonetheless.
Right.
I think people need to understand that. There's
that was on here, Jade.
That was on here.
I realized this time.
But, that's their business. It worked for them. Figure out what works for you.
One of our fans, one of our fans, Miss Cleo Rogers, said that, no, what is successful about two people that's supposed to be in a marriage, but you as a woman, you have a public vajayjay. I'm not saying the other word on here. And the man has a public, you know what?
Wee-wee.
Wee-wee. They call them wee-wees and pee-pees.
What's so successful about that? The devil is a liar. Well, Miss Cleo?
Miss Cleo,
it works for
what
them.
Is successful is happiness.
Exactly.
Look how many people are in marriages that are faithful and miserable as they possibly can be. It's about marriage. It's not about what we expect of people. It's about what works for you.
What they expect from their partner.
If you want your lala to be public, it's your lala.
I think what's the most important part about them is that it's an agreement.
Yes.
These two of them sat down and they had this conversation and they both agreed. It wasn't like, he get up and do his own thing and she crying. And then it's not like, Jada get up and do she own thing and Will is furious. It was an agreement. It seems as though it was an agreement between them. So it works for them.
As Jola said, to each.
We have a caller.
We have a caller. We'll
caller, good morning.
Yes, good morning.
Hola.
I'm listening. Am I on?
Yes.
Yes, I'm listening to you young folks. And what's the purpose of getting into a marriage if you're gonna want to be in another room and you want your own space, or you, like y'all said, you want a different house, and you just come together when it's time for intimacy. If that's the case, you don't need to go stand before God and get married. You could just, when you want intimacy, you could just find some one of those ill reproach house and go pay for it then. Because a marriage is instituted by God, and a marriage is supposed to bring people together. Then the separation is supposed to be in there. So I don't, this new wave thing what the world is, no, the devil is a liar, okay? It's not supposed to be like that.
It's not supposed to be like that. In your opinion, remember, we're not talking about your marriage. We're talking about someone else's marriage.
It's not supposed to be like that, period.
But we also have to keep in mind that, marriages
times have changed.
Right.
Society is evolving.
Times don't change.
Things do change. Things do change because 100 years ago, it was okay for your husband to bang in the street and not happen to him.
People just
Or marry a 13-year-old.
Thing that we glorify sin. That's just it.
Maybe it's not glorified. Maybe it's just more open.
But we also have to keep in mind, and Cuthbert, he reiterated, marriage happens in different cultures outside of Christianity, so it's not just a Christian concept.
It is true.
And the thing is, they happen in different ways. For example, some marriages have, the parents choose the children's partners, and they marry them from 13 or whatever age. Is that the Christian ideal? No, but it is the ideal. So we also have to remember that there's different cultures.
We don't even want to share food. Why do you want to share your partner?
You don't want to share your partner. But again, there are people. Remember, we have to stop thinking about it as a me thing. We have to think about it as people.
Individuality.
Yes, some people, you may not want to do this. I may not want to do this, but there are people that exist that this is their culture, so we can't knock them for it once they're not hurting anybody.
Ma'am, I don't think anybody in this studio right now wants to share their partner. I don't want to do it.
But that's the thing.
But if a man and woman sits down together and say, "Listen, this is what we want," etc., etc. Power to them, do what you want, whatever you're comfortable with, do it.
We also have to keep in mind now, there are now people who, friends that volunteer to have a child together. They don't want to get married. They don't want to have a child with somebody they don't think they could bond with. And two friends will say, hey, let's do this together. And they will raise a child together, and that child will be, incredibly looked after, versus if somebody just got up and say, I want a child, and they pick a random person to do it with. So times have changed. It's not so black and white anymore.
I thank God for the time I was born in. Then I guess
yes.
Wait, so you think
I'm only 50 odd, but yeah. The devil is a liar.
He's a liar indeed, miss. He's a liar indeed.
So you're saying you're thanking God for the time you were born in. Do you think that the time you were born in there were these kind of relationships? Oh, you left?
Yeah. But then even we could talk about that as well. Back then, I'm sure people would have loved to be in open relationships if they knew that was an option. However, back then that was not even a topic that it was completely taboo. Yeah. And that led to a lot of unhappy lives,
And say children and different families. We have another caller, apparently.
Let's
don't?
No.
Let's figure out if the call is still happening. But hey, caller.
Morning.
Good morning.
I'm shocked to hear your voice.
It just is fantastic, though. But it might not have been prevalent back in her era, but it was there. Just the person was more taboo about certain things. When you look at it, back then, they didn't even used to talk about sex.
True.
I mean, a lot of persons grow up thinking that children came from out of the sky. Somebody just dropped them off. Nobody went into details as to how you have sex and all that kind of stuff. So a lot of things was taboo. Everything now is coming out in this day in your face. So the feelings of persons are now coming out for everybody to see how they feel and express how they feel. And I mean, in every day you're gonna want to eat chicken. Right? You can't want to eat chicken. Everybody's supposed to eat chicken every day. That's somebody else's preference.
Exactly.
Just like Christianity, you have persons who are not Christians, you have persons who are Muslims, you have persons. It's about choice and what the persons decide for themselves. Because, as the lady says, the devil is a liar, yes. But at the end of the day, every man has to stand up in front of God and account for his own self.
And that's young God business.
Right.
You know what I mean? So you can't say on one side, yeah, I'm going to give an account for myself, but on the other side, I have to do what society wants me to do. On the other side, so how can I be responsible for what society wants me to be? You gotta be yourself. Otherwise, you're gonna live a miserable one life that you have.
Oh, amen. Amen.
If you spend your time worrying what other people are doing, you will waste your life doing nothing.
There you go. Right.
And with that powerful statement from Kevon.
Jade, this is for me.
You know what?
But let's mention one thing. One of our viewers said. Claudine Saunders also stated that in some cultures that it is expected. Miss Saunders
from
French.
Bastia High School.
Mm-hmm.
Bastia High School.
Yes, Claudine Saunders said that in some cultures, men are allowed to have more than one wife, and that's even allowed, expected. So again, what works for you doesn't work for every culture and everybody.
Not just that,
So-
before we jump in as in, there are cultures that I've actually researched where the women are allowed to have more than one man.
Precisely. But
and the women run the community, like they're in charge of everything, and they could have the men as the minions and so on thing. I can't remember exactly where, in which region.
One of the things that's in Tibet, I think. But one of the things that I always find very concerning about these conversations is how we link issues of relationship and marriage to sex, as sex being this huge overreaching thing. So it's like
far more.
Yeah, it's far more than the sexual part of the relationship. And I think when we do that, we cheapen the relationship, we cheapen marriage,
ourselves,
and
our
we
bodies.
cheapen ourselves, right? So I think we really need to be concerned about what we're pushing out there, what it is that we're doing. Like, sex is not the only determinant in
Kit Kat
successful
said,
relationships.
Jada has a spiritual good.
And with that, we will take a short break, and we will be right back, because we might not even come back.
Found the sound 98.9 Win FM.
Maybe it's the way the brilliant gold liquid reflects our sunshine, or how the bright blue of its label mirrors the clear Caribbean skies overhead. Maybe it's the fresh, crisp taste of this beastly cold beer on a scorching hot day. Maybe it's even the way it brings us all together. But one thing is for sure, Carob is very much a part of who we are wherever we're from in the Caribbean. Carob, it's the way we play. Drink responsibly.
Buster, pour it up, need the thirst quencher in my cup. If you have one, hold it up and say, Buster put the colors in my life. Refreshing and nice, and I drink that what we like. Buster, you're full of vibes, living for the color. And I'm black and white, we do what we like. We live to enjoy life. Buster, pour it up, different flavor. Load it up, if you have one, hold it up and say, Buster put the colors in my life.
Truck coming, walk up, everybody ready? Yeah, we ready. We spanner ready. Boom, big truck massive. Big truck massive, let me say yeah. Oh, yeah. Now look at this. Imagine two men are walking on me big truck. I wonder what's the problem? Why he hacking up? I check the radiator in a overheat. Watch out
Welcome back to Island Tea with your faves, Kevin and Amari. We can see in the comments and the call, what do you call the phone thing, that there's lots of lights happening, which means lots of calls are coming in, and we can tell y'all want to talk more about this. So we'll probably revisit it at another time. But we have to jump into Eat Local with what's the problem? Okay.
Wouldn't this be Drink Local though?
Drink local. we are now joined by Mother Becky T.
We'll let him introduce himself.
Hi, good morning. My name is German.
I can't hear him.
Can't hear me?
Go ahead.
Testing 1 2.
Yes.
Said hi, my name is German Mike, and I'm the owner of Mother Becky Tea.
Your last name is Mike?
Yep.
I've never seen any sinkers before.
Mr. Mike.
Mr. Mike, yeah.
Mr. Mike on the mic.
You have 2 first names.
Yeah, I always get that.
You say it like you fed up. But tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do.
Professionally, I'm a chemist, right? That's my trade. Professionally, I'm a chemist. But I started this business basically because I started seeing a lot of things that are not Kitishan, not authentic, and it's being sold as Kitishan. And so in an attempt to revitalize and still revitalize the culture, as well as keep the heritage and make sure that whatever is there is authentic, make something that is indicative to St. Kitts and Nevis. And so that is why you will see my products, they mainly have on, well, the tea bags and those and other things and so forth. They mainly have on the crackers bag, crackers bag from the old time with potatoes and rice thing and so forth, and cane. And then they have the Majas on it. And then we have Mother Becky, which was my great-grandmother and so forth. The logo, actually, when we did the logo, we went to one of the elders in the we're from over Saddlers area. So we went to one of the elders and we had Mother Becky, which was like the old generation, and then we have a young person, as you can see on the logo, a young person there drinking tea. And it was like, how does that mesh? Do you think that is okay? And she was like, yeah, we need to show that, to mesh the older generation and the younger generation, to show that contrast, that it's not just old people can drink tea, but also young people can drink tea as well.
Insightful.
You know, somebody is saying on the live that their mind is blown that Mother Becky is a man. So tell us a little bit about
Mother Becky isn't a man though.
Expand on the name, where the name came from, because you briefly mentioned it just now. But
it's my great grandmother. We're from over the parish of St. John's. That's over Lavington area of there. That's where she is essentially from. Her name is Rebecca, right? So Becky,
right?
That's where she had a shop and that kind of thing and so forth. I was small in times and so forth, but that's where the name Mother Becky came from. Basically, she was the matriarch of the area.
Oh, so she was actually referred to as Mother Becky.
Yeah, there's actually a hill in that area that we call Mother Becky. A lot of man don't take a lot of bike fall off of it, but but there's actually a hill that is there that's called Mother Becky Hill.
Brilliant. So when did you first get into the tea business itself?
Got into it around 2017. Started out with loose leaf tea. Actually, part of my job is to help agro processors with their labeling thing and so forth, right? And as a standards person, and while I was trying to help them, I was like, Mr. Mike, you don't understand the struggles in the street and so forth. So I was like, okay, no problem. So I started did the bush tea, show them that it is something that is doable, and so forth. And from since that, I guess someone took a picture, forwarded it, and it became more than me.
Okay. So currently, how many, on average, how many like customers do you service countrywide?
Well, I sell in supermarkets.
So mostly?
Mostly I sell in supermarkets. Sometimes there's some expos, like I from Buy and so forth, right? That we go to. and we sell just like that, just to get the word out there and so forth. Yeah, but mostly on average, boy, I don't even.
A lot.
So for those listeners, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I mean, are you only available in the Kittitian market? Kittitian division market?
Correctly.
Is there a plan to expand into the region?
Yeah, boy, but it's
step by step.
It can be a difficult thing because I keep hearing the thing about why people don't export this and so forth. But when you actually go to the areas, to the people that do the exporting, I'm telling you that can't do it and them kind of things and so forth. Right. So when you hear a lot of talks, come together and export and so forth.
Ain't that simple.
Well, so we have to show the viewing audience our the teas, the products. So Master of Ceremonies, we will have our producer just cue up a little, theme music, and
he's studying us.
He is. We okay.
Wasn't still there?
Let's take the call.
Let's take the call before we jump in.
Call you live. Good morning.
Yes. Good morning.
I'm shocked to hear your voice as well, sir.
Hello?
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, the chemist there, he talking too softly, that's number one.
Okay.
Talk like you want the thing them sell, man, try to reach, to a market.
Thank you.
And that's a very good initiative you're taking, and I'm very glad for you. But when you say you can export, in the OECS, as far as I know, you could obtain special permit, you got to make certain requirements.
Transportation.
Depending on where you're going to export.
Transportation is transportation is what I was talking about, Carla.
Oh, okay. Well, you're not specific. You see, so you could elaborate then. But we want to hear exactly what you're saying.
Okay.
I think you're doing a good initiative, and I believe you could get market in the U.S. Virgin Islands. Although you're going to have to meet the requirement because a lot of our people down there find where they are. Okay?
Yes.
I wish you well.
Thank you.
Man.
Thank you very much.
So yes, we were about to give you all a little show.
Cue the music.
Cue the music, Azim.
We can't get flashing lights. Tell us about this tea first. We are gonna do some things while you tell us about this flavor. this flavor.
Yes.
Go ahead.
It's a combination of sorrel and mint, right? And we wanted to highlight the flavor of the tart flavor of sorrel and the coolness of mint.
Great. We got more to go. Next we have the lemongrass ginger.
So
I see what you're saying.
No problem. So lemongrass is like one of the staple products of teas in St. Kitts, and plus ginger is.
They got to do.
So we wanted to have something that was more refreshing.
Great.
I mean, a very few words I see.
Straight to the product speaks for itself.
Yeah.
Which one is that? Mint basil?
Yes.
Mint basil. Well, we were looking at the medicinal benefits of mint and basil as natural antiviral, but we also wanted it to taste natural antivirals, but we also wanted it to taste very good. Yeah.
The left side is supposed to be the side that the people say? No,
Turmeric and ginger. Yes, turmeric and ginger, one of the favorites in the supermarket.
That sounds spicy.
Well, it's not really that spicy. To me, it's a refreshing drink, right? And the people have also said that it is a refreshing drink. It's just most people take it because turmeric is this miracle root.
Yeah, we got the sugar facts on it.
Yeah, the man think them in here well properly branded.
Man think them good up.
Delicious.
I could drink this.
Good up.
Ain't much sugar at all.
And it's good for people, as you were saying, it's good for people who can't consume a lot of sugar like our good friend here.
Yes, otherwise I will pass away.
Well, if you're doing something with bush tea, we generally drink bush tea for health.
Right,
So
you don't drink a lot of sugar.
Why would I pack it up with sugar? Right?
Oh my gosh, the chemist has spoken. Folks, this one is the sorrel / mint, and this one contains just 6.3 grams of sugar per
Wow.
serving.
Per serving.
Wow.
And
That's
it's two servings.
almost like no sugar.
Right.
Regular juice, for folks who don't actually look at the grams on juices, like the average juice contains like 36, 40 grams of sugar per serving.
Ribena is like a spoon of sugar.
Exactly. And then there you know the ocean sprays and so who have like as little as 25 grams and so natural fruit juices like Dole and Tropicana and so maybe 25 to 28 grams of sugar. This contains 6.3 grams of sugar
per serving.
Wow.
Per serving. Now, wow.
So since we're talking about how healthy or close to healthy these juices are, tell us some of the health benefits that come along with drinking Mother Becky and her teas.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I purposefully did not put health benefits on my product because the labeling is there, so it can be internationally recognized and so forth. And we know what the health benefits are locally, but you can't really put it on because it's not substantiated.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So that's why we haven't put it on. But for things like turmeric, and so we know that turmeric and ginger, and cinnamon, we know that these are anti-inflammatories, right?
Good for diabetes.
When it comes for like you have arthritic pain and that kind of thing, you take it and can go away or reduce the pain of it, right? When it comes to mint and basil, these are natural antivirals that you would drink normally for when it is hot and so forth. That is why you would take mint and basil and so forth for cold, right? Not knowing that they are natural antivirals. And then we have sorrel, mint again. Sorrel is very, very high in vitamin C, right? Very, very high. So you can take that as like for immune boosters and that kind of thing. And the traditional lemongrass, also aka citronella, right? That is usually taken as a fever grass for more when you have fever and that kind of thing and so forth. So we just kind of pack them into something that is more wholesome and tastes good. So it's not really just you can just make some tea, put it in the fridge and just take it back out and
You
it's
can't
cold.
just make Mother Becky.
It ain't
It's a
taste
process.
Because I hate cold tea. I hate cold tea. I don't like the taste of cold tea. So I had to make something that was more palatable, that kind of thing. And through research and so forth, through my knowledge of microbiology and that kind of thing, I ended up with a product that doesn't have in any preservatives.
Wow.
The only drawback is that I can only get it to last for 5 months without preservatives.
Right.
That's enough time.
That's
Yeah,
enough.
I mean,
that's adequate.
The amount of bottles of Mother Becky we could go through in 5 months.
Beer has a shelf life of 6 months. So I don't think 5 is bad at all.
No, and
Go ahead. Yeah.
no, go ahead.
What kind of sugar they put in? Is like brown sugar?
Yeah, I tried to go as natural as possible. I didn't want to use any sugar substitutes. And coming from a chemist background,
Yes.
I don't want to use any sugar substitutes. I use raw sugar. That's it. I don't use any substitutes like aspartame and them kind of things and so forth. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, since you've mentioned chemists and chemistry, we realized that you went the hydroponic route.
Yeah. For some
Some of the bushes?
yeah.
Yeah, so tell us why that is and why instead of using a machine, you handpick these teas.
Well, one machine is expensive.
Truth.
It's the honest part of it.
Machine expensive. With the hydroponic, mostly it was a basil, right? There's a quicker turnover when you have in the basil as opposed to when you grow it in the soil. Yeah, it would grow and that kind of thing and so forth. But the amount that was being requested, we were not able to meet that growing in the soil. They didn't have a lot of space, a lot of land or anything like that there. We just started out. We ain't no farmers, right? Remind me, I have to mention that I have a partner, Sarah Ramirez. Don't want her to feel, slighted or anything like this. Make sure that I
big up the partner.
Yeah, big up. But yeah, that was primarily the reason. Now we've gone a little bit more. We've become a more experienced, so we take from local farmers, like some ladies in the village. I take mint from her. There's two other guys. I take basil. There's another lady in Tabernacle. Miss Henry, Liza Henry.
Mm-hmm.
That I take sorrel from and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So, and then there's somebody else here in Bastia that I take local ginger from.
Mhm.
I typically don't go into the supermarket to buy anything unless I cannot get it
Right.
local.
So some of the Becky's are authentically local kitchen product.
Even the water you use is local water.
Yes, it's authentically. The only thing that isn't local is the
bottle.
The bottle.
Somebody needs to fix that.
But it is bottled locally.
But it is bottled
See, there we go.
locally.
So we have two questions on the live. One person is Kit Kat. Kit Kat is asking if you're doing a giveaway today. Maybe it's the Price is Right music maker feel like it's a giveaway.
Well, I brought these for the host of the show, so I'm giving.
So Kit Kat, no. You're
gonna have to see him and ask him.
Ask him for you. Ask him if he's willing to give
your
away.
favorite
I'm sure
person
Azim would be willing to share.
It'll be funny if Kit Kat don't win it.
Then we have a question. Someone is asking, is there a plan for recycling the bottles?
Yes. In order for, that's one of the strategies that we'll have to use to get down the price of the product and so forth. Eh? But at the moment, it's not like we're on a large scale. We still bottle by hand. We have no machinery as yet and so forth. It's just that we practice, good manufacturing practices in bottling by hand. But as you get larger, as you grow and so forth, ultimately you're going to have to recycle your bottles.
Right.
Ultimately. And the only way I see that is, doing it like how bottling company used to do it, or how breweries do it with the crates and so forth. So you start to deliver. I guess when I reach them times, they are making it big. I don't.
Hopefully by next year.
Yeah. Petitions, support these local businesses, please.
Yes, please.
Yeah, we want to see them grow.
I realize.
Okay.
Anyway, so we listed 4 flavors that you offer.
I have a sorrel as well. The traditionally made sorrel. It's just that sorrel is a bit scarce right now, so I didn't bring that one.
So there's 5 plus just sorrel.
Yeah.
Are there more flavors outside of that, or you're just working with 5 for now?
I'm just working with 5 for now.
Okay.
This is a strong 5. This is a strong
solid 5.
Starting lineup,
yeah. I'm excited to have which one do y'all want?
I want lemongrass ginger.
Okay. Hey, wait. First of all, you need to ask Kit Kat which one she wants.
So which one would you like? Okay.
My personal favorite,
I want the turmeric,
is the mint basil.
Let me test you a little bit. Based on being here with us for about a good hour, half an hour, based on our personalities, which one do you think?
Yeah.
Which one do you think matches?
Match
the juices.
Whichever one got the least sugar is mine, by default. We agree with nobody.
Except, hello, diabetic, relax.
We're asking you to do something you didn't sign up to do.
Yeah, I understand.
Match the flavors.
Match the flavors to the personality.
Yeah, so who you think would be like a lemongrass ginger?
13.
I think engineer.
Engineer.
Yeah,
okay.
Would
lemongrass ginger.
Lemongrass.
Okay.
This one is mine by default.
I was about to say, for him, based on how
Don't cheat, you know?
No.
Okay.
Based on how we was talking about the amount of sugar and so forth, the sorrel mint would go for him.
Okay.
Right? And between both of you, that's a toss-up.
What? No,
Don't put me in the same bracket as
I offended. I offended. You're offending us. So there's turmeric ginger and mint basil.
I would give him the turmeric ginger.
Because he matchy here. I bet it's because he matchy here.
No, why the man have on a hat? I didn't see him.
Watch the color here. It match.
Okay.
So I'm a mint basil.
We call him Reptibate.
The original good up wallow.
But we have more questions come. I think people really like what's happening today.
Yeah.
Somebody is saying kudos to you and the entrepreneurial initiative.
Thank you.
Gawain is saying you're one of the hardest working people out there and very innovative. Cleo is saying that when the borders open, she coming for some. But Cleo is also asking how much do the bottles retail for?
I'll make a hard price online.
Well, I mean, if they go to buy it, they're going to
public
the price.
knowledge. The only reason value mad for.
No, they retail at around $10 around here.
What?
That's cheap.
For all this goodness?
It's a big bottle, eh? And
This is a big drink?
It says there's 2 servings per bottle, so you.
So
could
it's
probably-
$5
So it's really $5 for one.
$5
You could
for
really
one.
For one drink.
BOGO. Buy one get one, but for $10. But 2 servings you could drink. You could get 2 servings at
Yeah,
your
but
place.
as in this is easily a missile in the words of the police.
It was the police, yes.
Yeah, we can't have these infects.
Do you make them in more sizes, or this is just the size you're working with for now?
Just this is the size for now. I chose this size because the bottles that are smaller cost approximately the same size.
Right.
And then the label size tend to be the same. Yeah, so I was like, okay, I want to give people a bang for their buck. So just keep it at the 16 ounces.
Do you intend to ever use plastic bottles so they can be used at fits?
No. And part of the reason.
Go ahead, yeah.
In order for because I don't use preservatives and so forth, right? In order the bottling process that is required for that, it requires glass.
Yeah.
Right. Now if maybe that you're gonna be, if I know that whoever is going to be using the product is going to be using it on the same day, then something can be worked out with that. That. But if they're going to be, if we're going to say that you're going to carry it over to another day, then because
unless they're refrigerated.
Even so,
I would prefer it to be on the same day because no preservatives at all, right? I don't want somebody to even store it improperly and then say Mother Becky thing not taste good. Right? Mother Becky thing spoil easy.
On up my belly. But
well, you're the scientist. I'll take your word for it.
I agree. And since we're a little pressed for time, tell us where we could find this sexy, probably good tasting product. Yes, this nice tea, Mother Becky's tea. Where can we find it?
Well, currently it's in Value Mart in Nevis. It's in Value Mart here in St. Kitts. It's also in Rams at Bird Rock, and it's in Rams at Caps or Buckley's as well. Yeah.
So not the Rams in Nevis?
Not as yet.
Do you ever plan to have your own store? Not just selling through someone, but...
Like David's tea?
Yeah. Well, maybe not... But it can't be David's tea, it's Mother Becky's tea.
I said like David's tea.
Oh, like,
It's
okay,
your own
yes.
store where you can go and just get all your teas and all your tea things.
It's been with my partner and I have discussed it. No joke, but
in time.
Yeah, hopefully.
So that's what we could look out for.
We honestly do appreciate the transparency because you're saying a lot of in-depth things during the chit chat, and we appreciate the transparency.
Not just that, as it relates to a storefront property, you don't even have to sell just Mother Becky's tea. It can be a tea store. That's all my Mother Becky's, and you can actually sell other brands of local tea in the store as well. Like that, they're going to add a lot more value to your store as well.
Correct.
So yeah, think about that.
Cleo Rogers is asking, what if someone overseas wants to buy some?
Cleo ain't got a job.
No, Cleo wants your tea. Cleo is saying, if someone overseas wants to purchase, would you put it on Maryjet for them?
Yes, we've gotten orders from the United States, we've got orders from Costa Rica, we've got orders from Trinidad. Yeah.
So, for Cleo, tell us how someone like Cleo can get in touch with you for international order.
She can contact me via email at motherbeckys@gmail.com, or she can call number 665-8344. And she can place her order like that.
Give me the number again.
665-8344.
8344. Okay.
So
I'm typing it out for her too.
So people, you hear that? Get you some good Mother Becky tea. You get 2 for 1. It's a big bottle.
Big.
This
a lot.
trust me, especially since it's so hot right now, this probably gonna do you good. So, any last words before we sign out? Before our good producer gives us that.
Before he have to
Hush
go.
your mouth music.
Before he have to go talk to Kit Kat.
Whoops off the drink.
Well, on the product, not really, but just to say thank you to you guys. You guys are trending right now, and it's true. It's true. You guys are trending right now, and I thank you for the opportunity. I really do thank you for the opportunity.
It was our pleasure to have you here.
Yes, not because you bring us things. Besides that,
bring us things, but
We appreciate.
Because Jade might be setting up herself to get me in trouble. See? It's hush time. But
as we got to go make kick that notification thing.
But again, any more words on top of that?
Well, I would just, hopefully I could say, I hope Kitishans can continue to patronize my business.
No, not hopefully. You want them to patronize your business because
and they shall.
They shall.
Yes, I agree. They should, they shall, and they will.
So here's what we're gonna do. Here's the plan. So here's the plan. When you all are tuning in to listen to Island Tea in the morning, the night before, go by Mother Becky's. So when we come in the morning, you pour out and you sip with us.
Yes. At Valumat, St. Kitts and Nevis, and at Rams, Burdock, and Buckley's. Those are the 4 locations that currently retail Mother Becky's tea for approximately $10 easy currency per bottle, which contains 2 servings.
Yes, so $5 per serving. Get your Mother Becky's. Master of Ceremonies, would you like to take us out, or is that a marriage job?
It definitely ain't your job.
I don't know what you're asking me for.
Some push preserving things.
That's what it
Thank you very much, everyone, for listening this morning. Thank you to our guest, Jeremy and Mike.
Ooh, wait. Kit Kat says, save me some.
Well, that's a good question, anyway.
You will see us and hear us again tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. here on Win FM 98.9. Stay safe and make somebody smile today.
And drink some tea.
Some Mother Becky's tea.
I don't say bye, I come in the other thing. Bye.